The 5 secret levels of your soul that will change your life in 2025. The concept of the 5 secret levels of your soul often finds resonance in mystical and esoteric traditions. While interpretations may vary, many draw from Jewish Kabbalah or similar frameworks that describe the soul as having multiple layers or dimensions, each revealing deeper aspects of a person's spiritual essence. Below is an outline of these levels, commonly referred to in Kabbalistic thought. Nefesh, basic life force. The Nefesh represents the foundational level of the soul, intimately tied to the physical body and material existence. Its significance is profound because it serves as the engine that animates life, providing the energy required to engage with the world. Key characteristics of Nefesh: physical and biological foundation. Nefesh is the life force that sustains the body, governing vital functions like breathing, heartbeat, and movement. It is often described as the animal soul, focusing on basic survival instincts such as hunger, reproduction, and self-preservation. Earthly connection. Rooted in the material world, Nefesh corresponds to actions and behaviors that keep us grounded. It aligns with the Asiya, the world of action, in Kabbalistic cosmology, emphasizing deeds and physical activity. Moral potential. Though it operates on instinct, Nefesh holds the potential for moral choice. It is the level where ethical awareness begins, prompting an individual to act in ways that reflect higher spiritual values. Symbolic representation. In the Bible, the Hebrew word nefesh often translates to soul or life, signifying the essence of living beings. For example, "And man became a living soul," nefesh chaya, Genesis 2 verse 7. This highlights its role as the animating principle granted by God. Practical implications of nefesh. Grounding practices. Cultivate mindfulness in daily tasks, such as eating, exercising, or working, to honor the physical vessel of the soul. Recognize that caring for the body is a spiritual act. Control of instincts. While nefesh is associated with instinct, spiritual growth requires tempering desires to align with higher principles. This is the starting point of self-discipline and character refinement. Gratitude for physical life. Reflect on the gift of life as an opportunity for growth and service. Express gratitude for basic needs being met and for the ability to act in the world. Scriptural and spiritual insights. Psalm 103 verse 1. Bless the Lord, O my soul, nefesh, and all that is within me, bless his holy name. This verse reminds us that even the nefesh, the most physical aspect of the soul, is called to worship and connect with God. Leviticus 17 verse 11. For the life, nefesh, of the flesh is in the blood. This highlights the role of nefesh as the life force, closely tied to physical vitality. Reflection questions. How do you see your daily actions as a reflection of your soul's connection to God? Are there areas in your life where physical instincts need more alignment with spiritual values? How can you better honor your body and the basic life force that sustains you? Nefesh invites us to begin our spiritual journey with a strong foundation, ensuring that our earthly existence supports our ascent to higher levels of the soul. Would you like guidance on integrating this understanding into your spiritual practice? Ruach, spirit or emotional self. The Ruach represents the second level of the soul, focusing on the realm of emotions, relationships, and moral discernment. It acts as the bridge between the physical self, nefesh, and the higher intellectual and divine aspects of the soul. Ruach is often described as the seat of personality, expressing the dynamic interplay of human emotions and ethical choices. Key characteristics of Ruach. Emotional depth. Ruach governs feelings such as love, compassion, anger, and joy. It is the source of empathy and emotional connection with others, enabling relationships to flourish. Moral awareness. This level introduces a heightened sense of right and wrong. Ruach inspires the individual to act not only out of instinct but with consideration of ethics, justice, and kindness. Speech and expression. The Ruach is strongly connected to speech. Ruach can also mean breath or wind, as words often convey emotions and ethical insights. It is the medium through which the soul communicates its inner reality to the outer world. Symbolic representation. In Hebrew, Ruach can mean spirit, wind, or breath, emphasizing its dynamic and moving nature. It aligns with the element of air, representing movement, balance, and interaction. Biblical insights on Ruach. Genesis 2 verse 7. And he breathed into his nostrils the breath, Ruach, of life. This describes God instilling a spiritual essence into humanity, linking Ruach to divine inspiration. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 21. Who knows if the spirit, Ruach, of man rises upward? This highlights the Ruach as the part of the soul that aspires to transcend physical limitations and connect with the divine. Proverbs 20 verse 27. The spirit, Ruach, of man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all his innermost parts. This verse connects Ruach with self-awareness and the moral light that guides decision-making. Practical implications of Ruach. Emotional regulation. Ruach challenges us to recognize and manage our emotions, ensuring they align with higher values rather than uncontrolled impulses. Cultivate mindfulness in responding to emotional triggers. Ethical living. Engage in practices that promote ethical behavior, such as acts of kindness, fairness, and honesty. Evaluate your actions regularly to ensure they reflect moral integrity. Nurturing relationships. Use the Ruach to deepen connections with others through active listening, compassion, and thoughtful communication. Recognize the divine presence in those around you. Expression through speech. Speak words that build, inspire, and heal. Words have the power to express the soul's depth and influence others positively. Kabbalistic context. In Kabbalah, Ruach corresponds to the world of Yetzirah, the world of formation. This realm represents the shaping of emotions and moral awareness, forming a bridge between physical deeds, asiya, and intellectual/spiritual pursuits, beriah. Reflection questions. How do your emotions influence your decisions and relationships? Are there areas in your life where you can bring more moral clarity and balance? How can you use your speech to uplift others and align with divine values? Ruach as a spiritual path. Ruach invites us to explore the transformative power of emotions and morality. It challenges us to harmonize our inner life with God's teachings and to connect with others in meaningful ways. This level of the soul is not static. It grows and refines as we strive to become better versions of ourselves. Would you like to delve into practices or scriptures that help develop and elevate your Ruach? Neshama, divine soul or intellect. The neshama represents the third and higher level of the soul, deeply connected to intellect, spirituality, and divine wisdom. It is often referred to as the divine soul because it reflects the intellectual and conscious connection with God. Neshama is the part of the soul that seeks truth, understanding, and alignment with the divine will. Key characteristics of neshama: intellectual and spiritual awareness. Neshama is the source of higher thinking, logic, and intellect. It allows for deep reflection and understanding of spiritual matters. This level of the soul strives to comprehend God's teachings and the underlying truths of existence. Divine wisdom. It is associated with the pursuit of wisdom and knowledge, particularly wisdom that leads to spiritual enlightenment. Neshama encourages us to seek the divine in everything, understanding that true wisdom comes from God. Connection to the divine will. The neshama is the aspect of the soul that seeks unity with the Creator. It is not concerned with earthly desires or material gain, but with aligning oneself with God's plan and divine purpose. The source of higher virtues. Neshama is where virtues such as humility, piety, and devotion are rooted. It leads the soul to transcend personal ego and approach the world with a broader, divine perspective. Biblical insights on neshama. Genesis 2 verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul, Nefesh chaya. While the Nefesh animates the body, the neshama is what connects humanity to its divine purpose, reflecting God's breath. Proverbs 2 verse 6. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. This verse highlights how neshama is aligned with divine wisdom, as it is through this part of the soul that God grants knowledge and understanding. Psalm 42 verse 1. As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul, Nefesh, pants for you, O God. The desire expressed here represents the neshama's yearning for closeness with God, thirsting for divine connection and truth. Practical implications of neshama: pursuit of knowledge and understanding. Engage in practices that expand your intellectual and spiritual knowledge, such as studying sacred texts, meditating on divine truths, or seeking wisdom from wise teachers. Make learning a spiritual discipline that elevates your soul toward God. Aligning thoughts with divine purpose. Use your intellect to understand how your life can align with God's will. Reflect on your motivations, ensuring that your thoughts and actions honor divine truth. Spiritual discernment. Cultivate spiritual discernment, allowing the neshama to guide you in decision-making. This level of the soul enables you to discern deeper meanings and truths in life and respond with spiritual insight. Fostering higher virtues. Embrace the development of virtues such as humility, patience, and devotion, which are the hallmarks of a soul attuned to neshama. Strive to live in a way that reflects a higher calling, beyond the material or ego-driven desires. Kabbalistic context. In Kabbalah, neshama corresponds to the world of Beriah, the world of creation. This world is associated with intellectual creation and the emanation of pure thought. The neshama is deeply tied to the intellect, specifically to understanding spiritual concepts and connecting to the higher truths of existence. Reflection questions. How does your intellectual pursuit contribute to your spiritual journey? Are there areas of your life where you feel a deeper connection to divine wisdom or understanding? How can you align your thoughts and intentions with God's will more effectively? Neshama as the path to spiritual enlightenment. The neshama represents a powerful force within the soul, one that seeks to transcend material concerns and focus on spiritual growth. It challenges us to look beyond the physical world and reach for higher truth, understanding, and connection with God. This aspect of the soul is not satisfied with surface-level knowledge. It longs for profound wisdom and divine insight. Would you like to explore spiritual practices or teachings that help cultivate and nurture the neshama? Chaya, living essence. The chaya represents the fourth level of the soul, a transcendent and deeply spiritual aspect that connects the individual with a higher, universal consciousness. It is often called the living essence or the life force because it is the level of the soul that transcends individual concerns and becomes aligned with the divine will and the collective consciousness of creation. The chaya is where the soul experiences unity with the Creator and the larger spiritual realities of the universe. Key characteristics of chaya: transcendence and unity. The chaya level allows the soul to transcend individuality and merge with the divine source. At this level, there is a sense of oneness with God and the entire creation, as the soul begins to experience a deeper, universal reality beyond personal identity. Intuitive spirituality. Chaya is connected to deep, intuitive knowledge. It's not merely intellectual but arises from direct spiritual experience, often felt as a deep knowing or an insight into the truths of existence. It is through this level that one gains profound spiritual insight without relying on logic or reason, but through divine inspiration. Alignment with divine will. The chaya is closely aligned with God's will, and its primary concern is not personal growth but the fulfillment of God's purpose in the world. At this stage, the individual experiences a strong sense of mission or calling, often with a sense of being guided by divine providence. Spiritual intensity. The chaya represents a very intense, direct experience of the divine presence. Unlike the intellectual pursuits of neshama, chaya is more experiential and emotional in its intensity. It is often described as a living energy that provides the soul with the capacity to feel connected to everything on a cosmic level. Biblical insights on chaya. Genesis 2 verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul, Nefesh chaya. The word chaya here emphasizes the living essence of the soul, signifying that the breath of life from God is not just the act of giving physical existence, but also imbuing the soul with a dynamic, divine energy that connects it to the divine. Ezekiel 37 verse 14. I will put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will settle you in your own land. This passage highlights the life-giving force of God's Spirit, which corresponds to the chaya, a level of the soul deeply linked with God's sustaining power and the renewal of life. Isaiah 11 verse 2. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and of might, the Spirit of the knowledge and fear of the Lord. This description of the spiritual gifts given by God mirrors the Chayua's connection to divine wisdom, guidance, and the transformative power of God's essence. Practical implications of Chaya. Seeking spiritual oneness. Chaya invites you to seek a sense of unity with God and all of creation. Cultivate a deep sense of connectedness, not just to people, but to the universe and its divine creator. Practice meditation, prayer, and contemplation to nurture your awareness of this deeper unity. Living with divine purpose. As you attune yourself to Chaya, seek to understand your divine purpose. This may manifest as a sense of mission or calling in life, and it involves surrendering to the will of God. Look for ways to align your actions with divine providence, letting go of personal desires and focusing on how you can serve a higher good. Intuitive spiritual practice. Embrace practices that cultivate spiritual intuition, such as silence, deep reflection, or prayer. Trust in the inner guidance that arises naturally from your connection with God. This level of the soul often speaks through intuition, dreams, or inner knowing, rather than structured reasoning. Engage in acts of loving kindness. The Chayua's intensity of spiritual energy often manifests in compassion and empathy for others. Engage in acts of loving kindness and mercy, offering yourself in service to others. At this level, the soul recognizes that the well-being of others is intimately tied to its own. Kabbalistic context. In Kabbalah, Chaya is associated with the world of Atzilut, the world of emanation, which is the realm closest to God. It represents the light of the divine itself, as Chaya is the manifestation of God's essence in a direct and unfiltered way. The soul at this level is bathed in the pure light of God's presence and experiences divine love and unity without any separation or intermediary. Reflection questions. How can you cultivate a deeper sense of oneness with God and the universe? Are there areas in your life where you feel disconnected from your divine purpose or calling? How can you cultivate a deeper intuitive understanding of your spiritual path and purpose? Chaya is the path to divine connection. The Chaya level of the soul invites us to transcend our personal identities and connect to the divine source. This level of the soul seeks unity with God and experiences a direct, vibrant relationship with the Creator. Living with Chaya means embracing a deep, spiritual intensity that opens us to God's will and the broader spiritual realities of existence. Would you like to explore practices or teachings that help you connect more deeply with your Chaya and experience this profound level of spiritual unity? Yekada, oneness. The Yekada represents the highest and most transcendent level of the soul. It is the core essence of the soul, where all distinctions between the individual and the divine vanish. This level of the soul is known as the oneness because it reflects the ultimate unity between the individual and God, a state of being where the soul is no longer separate but becomes one with the divine source. Yekada is often described as the soul's deepest, purest connection to the Creator, where the soul experiences perfect unity and divine peace. Key characteristics of Yekada: unity with the divine. At the level of Yekada, the soul experiences complete oneness with God. There is no distinction between the soul and the Creator, and the person experiences the purest form of divine union. This level transcends individual identity, ego, and personal desires, reflecting a state of being where the soul is fully aligned with God's will. Ultimate divine peace. Yekada is associated with a state of profound inner peace and tranquility. This peace arises from the soul's realization that it is one with the divine source of all life. At this level, the soul is beyond all worldly struggles and distractions, completely absorbed in divine love and truth. Pure, unfiltered light. The Yekada level is illuminated by the highest light, the divine light that is beyond human comprehension. This light is the essence of God's infinite presence. It is the state of the soul before it enters into the world of physical manifestation, representing the unfiltered connection to the divine that exists beyond all created forms. Eternal, unchanging essence. The Yekada is eternal and unchanging. Unlike the other levels of the soul, which can fluctuate and evolve, the Yekada is constant and represents the eternal nature of the soul, existing in its purest form. It is the aspect of the soul that remains untouched by time, space, or the physical world. Biblical insights on Yekada. Deuteronomy 6 verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. This foundational verse emphasizes the oneness of God, which is mirrored in the Yekada's experience of ultimate unity with the Creator. The soul at the level of Yekada recognizes and embodies this oneness. Psalm 139 verses 7 to 10. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. This passage reflects the Yekada's experience of God's omnipresence, where the soul understands that it is inseparably connected to God, no matter where it is. John 17 verse 21, New Testament, that they may all be one, just as you, Father, are in me and I in you, that they also may be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. This verse from the Gospel of John mirrors the concept of Yekada, which is the complete union of the soul with the divine, as Jesus prays for the oneness of his followers with God. Practical implications of Yekada. Living in alignment with divine oneness. The Yekada level calls us to embody the ultimate unity between our soul and God in every aspect of our lives. While we may not fully experience this oneness on a daily basis, we can strive to live in harmony with divine principles, recognizing that all life is interconnected and part of God's plan. Letting go of the ego. At the Yekada level, there is no ego, no personal self-interest. To approach this level of the soul, it is essential to continually practice humility and surrender, letting go of the need for validation, control, or separation. Meditative practices that focus on selflessness and surrender can help align us with this deep spiritual truth. Seeking union through prayer and meditation. The soul can access the Yekada level through deep, contemplative prayer or meditation. Practices that focus on stillness, silence, and the pure presence of God can create the conditions for glimpses of this oneness. Contemplate the idea of being one with the divine, and allow your consciousness to merge with God's infinite presence. Embracing divine love and compassion. Recognize that at the core of Yekada is divine love, a love that is unconditional and infinite. Live with the awareness that all beings are expressions of the same divine source and treat others with compassion and respect. Practice selfless love, understanding that all love is a reflection of God's ultimate love. Kabbalistic context. In Kabbalah, Yekada is the highest of the 5 levels of the soul and corresponds to the world of Adam Kadmon, the primordial human, which is the first and most pure emanation from God. This world represents the essence of divine unity, and the Yekada is the level where the soul experiences its ultimate return to the divine source. It is the part of the soul that reflects God's infinite unity and is untouched by the fragmentation of the physical world. Reflection questions. How can you live each day with the awareness of your connection to the divine source? In what ways can you surrender your personal ego to experience more profound unity with God? What practices or meditations might help you feel more aligned with divine oneness and peace? Yekada as the path to divine union. The Yekada level of the soul represents the ultimate spiritual aspiration, the complete and unbreakable union with the divine. It is a state of perfect peace, love, and oneness with God. While it is challenging to fully access this level in our daily lives, striving toward this ultimate unity can guide us towards spiritual enlightenment and deep inner peace. Would you like to explore ways to cultivate an experience of this divine oneness in your spiritual practice? Reflection on the 5 levels of the soul. The journey through the 5 levels of the soul, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yekada, offers a profound path of spiritual growth and self-realization. Each level represents a deeper connection to the divine, a step toward understanding the true essence of who we are and our purpose in the world. Reflecting on each level can provide us with insights on how to live with more intention, awareness, and alignment with God's will. Here are some reflections to help you integrate these concepts into your life. 1. Nefesh, the basic life force. Reflection. Consider your physical existence and how your daily actions and instincts are grounded in the physical world. How do you nurture your basic needs, health, rest, and vitality? How can you honor the sacredness of life in your everyday actions? Challenge. Practice mindfulness in the small, everyday activities. Recognize the sanctity of your body and treat it with care and respect. 2. Ruach, the spirit or emotional self. Reflection. Examine the emotional and moral aspects of your life. How do your emotions shape your actions and relationships? Are you living in alignment with your values? What virtues, love, compassion, honesty, etc., guide your decisions? Challenge. Cultivate emotional awareness and mindfulness. Reflect on your emotional triggers and practice responding from a place of calm and moral integrity. 3. Neshama, the divine soul or intellect. Reflection. Reflect on your intellectual and spiritual life. How are you engaging with the divine through study, reflection, or seeking wisdom? Do you feel a deeper connection to God's teachings and the higher truths of existence? Challenge. Devote time to spiritual learning, whether through prayer, study of sacred texts, or contemplation. Seek wisdom that transcends mere knowledge and moves you towards spiritual enlightenment. 4. Chaya, the living essence. Reflection. Reflect on your connection to the greater whole. Do you feel a sense of unity with all of creation? How can you attune yourself to the divine guidance that calls you to live with purpose and compassion? Are there moments in which you experience deep spiritual insight or intuition? Challenge. Engage in practices that foster your intuitive understanding, meditation, prayer, or nature walks. Listen for divine guidance in moments of stillness and seek to act in harmony with the greater good. 5. Yekada, oneness. Reflection. Contemplate the ultimate unity with the divine. How can you live with the awareness that you are not separate from God, but part of the divine essence? Reflect on moments when you have felt a deep, unshakable peace or connection with something greater than yourself. Challenge. Strive to let go of ego-driven desires and live with the intention of embodying divine love and peace. In moments of stillness, try to connect with the sense of oneness that transcends individuality. Final thought. Reflecting on these 5 levels invites you to deepen your spiritual journey, acknowledging that each level of the soul serves as a stepping stone toward greater alignment with God and a more purposeful, compassionate life. The key is integrating each level into your daily experience, fostering growth in both the mundane and the sacred. As you progress, the soul becomes more refined, allowing you to connect to deeper truths and divine wisdom. Would you like to focus on a specific level of the soul or explore practices to deepen your experience of one of these stages?